Arvid again, and hello, it's Vo, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Last time we were checking out our giraffes in our one massive enclosure we've got so far. Everyone seems to be getting along, apart from the occasional small animal feeling like they're getting stuck in the water. Otherwise, this enclosure is going pretty well. We're finally in profit. The inspector's pretty happy with us. Just need to get our education up. We've been working on doing research. That way we can unlock enrichment items for our animals, making them happier. We put our mechanics doing research. All our points into getting our two-way glass, so the animals can't see the throngs of people. They're all staring at them. You can still hear them, but there's no mention of them getting stressed. If all the animals were getting stressed, we could invest in a little speaker that's going to play them animal noises, basically, and drown out the noises of the people. But now that we've got that glass researched, we can focus on the food and drink. We can focus on some facilities for our guests, try and make them happier. That should encourage more people into the park. I want to make sure there's enough room to create dedicated viewing places for all our different animals that are going to end up in here. Try and get everything spread out. As I say, we'll have to put something exciting down this end to make sure they walk all the way around here to see everything. They're fully educated about all our animals. Set up little lecture places with the seating, so our educators can come round and do specialised talks. Now that we're in profit, we can hire some more staff as well. Make sure that we're not overworking the people. Maybe do better service. Won't be so knackered all the time. Yeah, we'll keep researching the animals as we get them. Don't want to go too far overboard and get too many animals right at the beginning, because you won't know anything about them. But I think going too slow is maybe what leads to the financial problems. And I do like to start with this one great big enclosure for all the animals that enjoy being together. Maybe if you started with something more exciting, you'd get more guests more quickly. As always, when we run out of power, we're going to make a little offshoot from the main path that only our staff are going to go down. Get a generator placed. It's also a good opportunity to pop down staff rooms and keepers' huts and things when you're making these little takeaways, these little paths that only the staff are going to use. So as we unlock all the food and drink things, you get a vending machine option as well as a shop option. So we'll keep all our vending machines up here in one place. Now we can keep we can get the bigger shops down this end, the proper stalls. Hopefully that'll encourage people down here. Check out what each of our animals require for their feeding trays and their enrichment items. Make sure that we're sort of spreading them out. Would be good to have all the correct animals at the right place, next to their sign, saying what they're all about. That's obviously not the case. I'm not sure the feeders know the difference when they're popping down food, which animals they're feeding. I think everyone gets fed at the same time. We'll make sure as the people get encouraged further up that we've got more donation bins, seating. I'll put up these big screens for information on the species that we've got to further educate people. Try and tip us over the edge, get another star when the inspector comes round to rate our setup. These security bollards, these CCTV, they help our security guys. So there's less vandalism. There's naughty patrons who'll vandalise things if they're not being watched. Placed our screens upside down, we can fix that. Yeah, we can. I think the vandalism is reduced when they know they're being watched. Whether by our security guard himself or whether it's by the CCTV. Yeah, the more animals you get, the more you need to keep on top of making sure you don't have too many. You can release them into the wild, especially if it's the type of animal that only likes one alpha male, then the rest will fight. You can check out their ratings. Generally want the gold ones. We'll take silver or bronze, is better than nothing at all. Yeah, using that as a guide. That's like their level of appeal. And also their stats for like breeding. So yeah, we're going to try and fill up this enclosure. Get all the animals. All like staying together. And the uni enclosure. I'm sure there are other things that you could put in together in other enclosures. Maybe a few other things. Yeah, this is the big one. Sure, for the finances this is the way you should start, but yeah, this is the way I start. Get the biggest thing out of the way first. It does become harder and harder to manage. The more the animals breed, the more mess there is in the enclosure. That becomes a problem, it becomes a disease risk. You need to try and get the attendants, the keepers, to go in and clean up as well as feed the animals. Yeah, they seem to get overwhelmed at some point when you've got too many animals and too few keepers, or the keepers are too tired to keep up the demand. Try to re-spread things out here to account for the space that we're going to need for all the different animals. It means shiggling things along a bit. Yeah, that's not the end of the world. We're going to make sure it looks nice all the way around here, so we can encourage the visitors to come all the way around. Basically need to fit in an extra place. And now we need to move everything. Get it all sorted out again. Yeah, we'll get this sorted, as well as making sure that we get bins, donation bins, seating. Maybe another security post. Yeah, education boards galore. Hopefully these bigger display boards have as much power educating the people as the smaller, taller ones. You can see where some of our bins have been knocked down. Yeah, again, hopefully our new security lampposts are going to sort that out. Yeah, as more people come round, I want to make sure we've got the adequate facilities for them. If we're putting more food and drink places around the corner, we probably want to add another toilet for them. Maybe add a monorail or something. One of the guest rides. We can give them another look at the animals. Yeah, we're getting our research done. Try to catch up with the animals we're getting. Yeah, the Zoopedia can tell us all about the animals' needs, whether they can cohabit with other animals. That's where we're getting our list of animals that can all stay in the big enclosure together. And we're making some money, so we can, say, add some staff. And we're adding more vending machines. We need another mechanic, really. We can tell by our staff screen and how worn out they are. In the beginning, adding more staff is the way. In the long term, I think leveling them up is better. They need more money, they need a pay rise, but they get worn out less. They're more available to do jobs. Hopefully more efficiently cleaning up the enclosures and stuff. Mixture of things. At least we've got money coming in. We can afford to keep expanding things. It's good that the game is easy on us. It's not just a game over, like you're bankrupt. Switch our research to any active diseases that we get. Yeah, once we've got everything researched, all the diseases and everything, we can free up the vets to do more vet work. And we're getting the place complete. And we want to encourage people to come all the way down here, see the entire enclosure from all these different angles, appreciate all the different animals. And notifications to increase the pricing. I soon we'll be rolling in money. As I say, I prioritized making the animals happy first, before the guests. But I'm sure that could be another way to avoid financial instability. Maybe focusing on guest facilities is probably more beneficial. I'm all about the animal welfare, more so than the guest welfare. Yeah, we can do some of that now. Animals should be happy enough. We can check in the enclosure tab that we're getting them all the enrichment items that we can through our research. So we've got our last type of animal in. We've got our education stuff set up. That's that enclosure done, really. Okay, and we want to make sure that they're not overbreeding, overpopulating the enclosure as a whole. So it just gets too dirty. They can't keep up. That seems to invariably happen. Especially once you start making other enclosures and the zoo gets bigger and bigger. You got more stuff going on. More pop-ups coming up. Things that you have to deal with immediately. Lose focus on the general upkeep. Maintaining correct population. Come through once in a while and notice that you've got massively overpopulated enclosures or habitats. Release things away to the wild. Get our conservation credits that we can spend on our more luxurious animals. Now that we're not in financial dire straits, then we don't need to worry about that. Selling things off for cash. We can release to the wild. Do our bit for conservation. As things should be. Helps that we've got these recycling bins as an option, as well as the normal bins. We're doing our best to be eco-friendly conservationists in our totally not scary zoo. It's good that we're making cash now. As I say, we can spend it on more of the same. We can expand out and do a few new things. We can invest in a little bit of marketing. That should draw more people in for a little while. Rating seems to be going up. We're going up to about 4 stars now. Things are all going in the right direction. I feel like we can hire some more staff. Now's the time when things are going well. Reinvest. Hopefully everything runs a bit smoother. Our staff are happier. At some point we can go into the staff rooms themselves. You can choose different bonuses at a cost for them to recover energy faster or do their training faster and things like that. Yeah, lots of little tweaks that you can make. But you need to know what you're doing, which I often don't. It's all just hit and miss. Gonna make a monorail. So it's gonna come back round to where it started. It's gonna go sort of over the top of all the animals. Yeah, something exciting for the guests. reason for them to come all the way over here. Use the autocomplete. Always makes things kind of ugly. Never mind. It's a little bit finicky as well about making the paths. I just sort of click on the options of the station rather than building paths to it. You don't need 4 cars on such a small thing. 2 is probably more appropriate. But once we get it set up and running, then yeah, we don't stop it again to change the amount of cars. Yeah, don't need 4 cars. Not for something so small. Gonna get it nice and surrounded by trees. And check out the view. Make sure that it runs. A little test run. Make sure it's not trying to go through any walls or anything. And we'll get people going on it. Yeah, the back in the middle here. Try and get another little staff room. A few little things that we need at the back here. Got a little bit of room. It's not going to affect people. It's not going to have a negative effect when they're on the ride. But we'll try and encapsulate it in trees anyway. Because we're going to have a lot of shops. I want to have extra room for all the vendors to go for a break. Don't want them having to walk all the way round to go for a break at the staff rooms we have. Again, when we get a notification about inbreeding, go and get rid of the lesser subjects. Yeah, occasionally you'll need to replace the alpha male himself. He's too related to everyone else. Try and pop some shops in here. Wants to transform this bit of path at the bottom. Doesn't want to play the game necessarily. Want to try and get everything in a group so it's all perfectly aligned. Not always possible, but yeah, if we can, try and get things lined up. Just gonna fit these ones in where we can. Yeah, the more groups you have, the easier it is when you come to shelling them up. At some point we will make them look good and give them a little roof, proper walls, rather than this just bare plasterboard. Same with the staff buildings. That's why we're researching the Africa theme, so we can have the African animals in an African section where all the buildings are on theme. But that's a sort of awkward decoration thing. It's kind of optional. Save that for the 100-year anniversary of the zoo or something. Hopefully our staff buildings are all far enough away and hidden by trees enough that their negative impacts are not going to be felt by the guests. Again, we're going to go around and make sure we've got enough recycling and normal bins now that we've added all these extra shops, People are buying more stuff. Yeah, even after building all that, we're back up to the same amount of profit. Okay, and we'll try and make the security job a little bit easier. Sort out inbreeding. Sort out our work zones. And you can set up the vendors their own work zone with just all the shops in it and just dedicated staff room somewhere in the middle. If you're spreading everything out over a couple of locations in the zoo, I need separated work zones for them. Yeah, you need enough staff rooms. It's good to have them strategically placed, so your staff don't have to go too far from where they would normally be hanging out. You can micromanage to your heart's desire, really. Make the habitat a little bit nicer. Add some more vegetation. Some enrichment items. Some foliage. Getting there. Still got a couple more food and drink places to research. Make our guests happy. Can charge a little bit more. Keep the profits going up. Everyone seems happy. Apart from the vending machines. A couple more lots of research to do. Our animals. Make sure we're mixing things up with the ones that we've had for a while. It does become largely unmanageable when you've got heaps and heaps of enclosures. That's a lot to keep on top of. Yeah, you can pause and go through everything. It's hard to keep up with it at real speed. All the notifications going off in real time. Especially if there's about to be inbreeding. No chance of going and sorting that out in real time. Definitely have to pause it, or it's going to be over and done with before you've selected them both. Inspector's gone. Education still not in the green. We'll get there. Say we'll keep on top of the important things. And make sure the animals are happy. They're not overcrowded. Not making too much of a mess. They're all well fed. Trying to eliminate any graffitiing and destruction, vandalism. Making decent investments. Now that we're making money. As I say, we'll save the decoration of things for further down the line. Guests are happy enough to use the basic facilities. As long as they're there, they're happy enough. Making all the shops and staff buildings look pretty. It's not going to raise our education. Might raise the appeal a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit of a time investment. If you want to make it look nice. Yeah, most of the time I find trying to go through here and trim down the herds. Try and get better and better animals as the generations go on. Get some good breeding. We're getting there. The last few unique vending machines. Get that last few things researched. The food and drink shops. Make sure we've got enrichment items close to our glass walls. Encourage the animals over to a place where people are going to see them. Yeah, enclosure looks great now. Yeah, there's plenty of good enrichment items. Once you've got all the research done, you've got them all unlocked. Keep them all happy. Yeah, people are gathering up, presumably at the right time to get the lecture. We'll draw more people to the right window at the right time. And we just got to hope the animals play nice and come to the window. It's obviously the least predictable part of the operation, getting the animals to behave. Yeah, we haven't got any that have tried to break out, escape. It is possible if you don't put up the right barriers. Animals will escape and everyone will go running. It's alright, you can pay for an emergency capture to box it up immediately, if that does happen. I think all the animals we've got are fairly relaxed, chill animals. Giraffe might be able to lean over the barrier with its head, but yeah, I don't think there's any that are dying to escape. Yeah, we're researching the diseases as and when the animals get them. If we get to the point that we've got no new animals, of course we can get research going with the diseases. Yeah, we can switch things up a little bit with our marketing. Don't really want divisive appeal. Yeah, we don't want haters of the zoo. We've almost got everything, all the animals researched. Gonna expand things out to create our next fantastic enclosure. Another big one next to the entrance. Find some large animals to pop in. Do have a decent quantity of conservation credits now. We should be able to afford something exciting, an exotic that's going to have a decent appeal and draw the punters in. Yeah, we're pulling up on the end of the next decade in the zoo. We've made good progress. We need to expand. We'll try and get some more education at every opportunity. It still needs to be raised. We've got all the food and drink shops done now. We can go for souvenir shops. Yeah, we're going to copy all these. So when they come this way, I'll get some more education. Again, we'll make sure that we've got the standard things. Security pole once in a while. Donation bins, recycling bins. We're going to make the rough outline of the new enclosure. Just like the first one, we can tidy it up and raise the walls and change the material and everything once we've got it done. Yeah, we're creeping over into the next year. So we'll come back next time, pick up where we left off from. Till then, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.